What's up, family? Welcome back to season 2, episode 1, season 2. Get hype for chicken and rice. Get hype for chicken and rice, y'all. We are back. I'm Brother Sean. My beautiful cousin and co-host is
Sujuane T.
That's it. And we are so excited to be back here. Before we get started, we do need to apologize to our fan base and our family real quick. We got to apologize to you because it's been a long time and we should not have left y'all without a dope beat to step to.
No, sir.
For a month, I have to use it. Oh, that was. Thank you.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
Just a little too.
Thanksgiving. It's almost Thanksgiving.
That might have been a little bit too far, but we are excited to just jump right into. We're gonna get back into family research to share some things that I've been able to learn. We're gonna introduce our family this season. We got some people already lined up to speak to you. Some very talented individuals. We just want y'all to introduce you guys. Can't wait for that. But tonight we are going to talk about the recent show controversy that has hit the airways this week. Actually, we're going to be talking about none other than Dave Chapelle's, according to said, stand up. For a while, this show was titled The Closer, and boy did he close it.
Yeah, he did.
It was not, how should I say this? He made a lot of powerful statements. There was not a lot of funny, in my opinion.
It was. I thought.
We're gonna jump onto that because it.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So if you haven't seen it, it is definitely it's good. If you like comedy, if you're a Dave Chapelle fan, hell, even if you're not a Dave Chapelle fan, it's good. Dave Chapelle has a way. If you're not familiar with Dave Chapelle, he's a comedian, but his wit is, in my opinion, is just unmatched. He has this wit about him. He's incredibly intelligent. And he's like, I told Sean, I'm like, he's like my top 5 people that I absolutely admire and respect. Like he's my top 5. And but he has a way of what I like to call a triple threat. You know, he's able to be funny, inspire, and be impactful. You know, and it's not a lot of comedians that can do all 3 of those. You know, and so, but he brings just his own little just flair to comedy, and I just am so grateful for his talent. If you are following the news or social media and everybody's wanting to cancel Dave Chapelle, which Netflix has already told you they ain't taking nothing down, but the controversy is comes from the LGBTQ, I think that's it now, community, and some of the comments that he's made within this particular episode or special. But he's always made jokes similar to these. If you do follow his career, which I do, he's always talked about that community, you know. And me personally, I didn't see anything that he said that was cancelable. He says stuff about women, you know, he calls women, you know, bitches, and you know, not necessarily in a derogatory, you know, like, you know, I'm not offended, and I'm a woman, but it's just comedy, and so I didn't see anything in there that I need to be that I thought was offensive, but apparently the trans community, more specifically, is a bit, they're up in arms about some of his statements and jokes, and they're calling the cancel culture police on him. But I'm still Team Dave Chapelle. I don't care. I'm not canceling him.
So you said that you got Dave on your top 5, but what number is Dave on your top 5?
Dave is probably number 3.
Number 3? Who do you got in front of Dave?
Oh, my number 1, if you know me, is Muhammad Ali. He is one of my absolute, I love me some Muhammad Ali. After Muhammad Ali would definitely be Martin Luther King. So those two are in front of Dave.
As far as comedy goes?
Oh no! I just said top 5 people, not comedians.
Oh,
no, top 5 people.
We're talking
that
about.
I admire. No, not comedians. Oh yeah, comedians. Yeah, he definitely is number 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
I was about to say.
Without question. No. Just my top 5 people that I actually admire. Yeah, but no, comedy. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, because I'm.
Nobody can say. I'm sorry. The only person probably could come close would be the late great Bernie Mac. Yeah.
See, I'm taking Dave Chapelle actually in front of Bernie Mac. I'm taking Dave Chapelle over Kevin Hart. Chris.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kevin Hart is just not funny to me. I'm sorry. He does not make me laugh. He's interesting. He's entertaining in movies, but I'm not buying not Dave Chapelle. What's his name? Kevin Hart.
I've seen some stuff of Kevin Hart that released on Netflix, and I mean, it's quite possible you can sit through Kevin Hart special and not laugh, not one iota.
I didn't. I might have. That's not, no shame to Kevin Hart, but no. Like I said, if you haven't seen Dave Chappelle's comedy, I'm telling you, he's the GOAT. We call him the GOAT for a reason. He is brilliant.
But absolutely, I'm taking him over all of the kings of comedy, including Bernie Mac.
Yeah, Bernie is a close second. Bernie Mac is Bernie would have my stomach hurt. Bernie, and then of course Cat Williams is up there too.
Cat Williams would have to be. Cat Williams would have to be probably number 2 under Dave. He's another one of those guys that goes there.
Yeah. But see, when I say like my top 3, I'm not doing just necessarily the body of work. I look at the actual individual and the wit. You know what I'm saying? Bernie Mac he was just one of those people. He had a lot of sense, and that's not saying that Cat Williams doesn't have sense, but yeah, Bernie, I just would, if it was between buying a Bernie Mac ticket and a Cat Williams ticket, I'd probably go with Bernie.
And I don't think that would be the wrong decision.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, it's just personal opinion. Yeah.
I don't think that would be, but I don't find a contemporary or even those a couple of back in the day. I'm taking him over, George Carlin. And some of those, I'm taking him over, what's his name? A great guy who dropped a lot of weight, Iglesias. Who was the other individual? George Lopez. I mean, we have to, Dave Chappelle's got it all. He had a great team. He worked several years with, comedian Paul Mooney, who
rest in power.
Rest in power, and who tied to the hip with Richard Pryor. Mm-hmm. That's where Dave Chapelle just kind of grabbed a lot of that stuff, and that's why Dave Chapelle is the GOAT as far as is concerned. He had the Chappelle Show. Every episode of the Chappelle Show was good.
And walked away from all of it. Walked away from $50 million. Now you can't tell me he ain't the GOAT. You can't tell me that. See, that's one of the things I respect the most about Dave Chapelle is that you can't buy it. You know,
Yeah.
it's so many of these celebrities or artists or whatever, they all have a price. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I really, really admire most about him is that you can't buy me. You can't buy me. You know, and he
Well,
walked away from it and he's like,
you might be able to negotiate it with him with weed.
yeah, yeah.
And if you bring weed to the table, you might
Yeah,
be able.
yeah. Weed was no longer accessible, and you had to.
Yeah.
Only one person, this one company had it. That might be his kryptonite. It might be like, oh, I might have to sell my soul for.
If all the seeds, you know what I'm saying, if they
Yeah.
came in and it only provides one seed to one farmer.
But yeah, but back to the controversy. What are your thoughts, feelings, views, opinions on I guess his statements about
what came to my mind, and I'm going to be very careful not to spoil it for the family who have not watched this again. We are high.
Well, I think this portion, I think it's already been spoiled because it's been all over the media and the news. So, you know.
Well, this is something that me and you have talked about off air. It doesn't matter how much you speak about something, you're not actually spoiling. Okay? Yeah. Because just because someone tells you, you can still go and see what movie
is. See it for yourself. Yeah, to see if you are fit. And that's what I encourage people to do. See if you get offended. Don't get offended just because somebody else is saying that they offended. Go see for yourself. Do your own research.
So what I saw was not offensive. It kind of sounded like, a letter, pleading with, the community to kind of lighten up a little.
Yeah.
Or I'm one of those that I can agree with Dave. I believe that community have gotten aggressive in recent years, almost to the point of violence. And I kind of think back to, what happened in the Post nightclub in Florida. That was a horrific, horrible event that happened there. There's no way you can be an emotional human being and not be touched by, what happened that night. Mm-hmm. And what was even more hurtful was some of the comments made in the religious community, basically trying to say that, they basically had that coming. Right. So I think that when we saw hate like that kind of manifested, I think that caused us to really kind of, our hearts were kind of open. We were touched by, that level of hate. And what we started to do was to extend a lot of credit to them, because this group is so marginalized, they're being killed. Yeah. But a couple of years of that, I think that we have extended far too much credit, and we need to kind of reel that back in. We've let them out of guilt. We have let them kind of get away with being with increasing aggression, and some of them are difficult to speak to, no matter how you approach them. Mm-hmm. And and they are becoming a powerful group. You almost can't really call them a minority group anymore. I mean, this group has become organized. The LGBT community are the reason why we had a black president.
Yeah.
They had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, they funded Obama's campaign. Real talk.
Yeah.
You know, and they continue to fight. And that's one of the things that I think Black people need to learn. They need to continue to fight. The community has not stopped fighting just because they have gotten the right to marry same-sex marriages. Okay. They haven't said, hey, I can marry my boyfriend now. Hey, we packing it up. We going home. But they continue to fight. But there has been some aggression that they've been exposing. They've been aggressive to members of their own community, almost to say that someone isn't, you're gay, but you're not gay enough, things of that nature. And, he alluded to a lot of that. And he brought up the situation, of course, where this kind of all began with the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, the community shut down an artist.
Yeah, that wasn't the first artist. They had the same thing. You talking about Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
With Kevin Hart and with the Oscars or whatever. And because they found the tweet way back from 1942, now all of a sudden he can't host the Oscars no more because of something that he said that is perceived to be homophobic. And it's like, I mean, yeah, that's why I know I'm not set up for fame.
Murder someone.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Walmart.
Yeah, but see, I know that I'm not set up because I'm not apologizing for shit. You know what I'm saying? If I said it, I meant it. You know what I'm saying? I meant it at the time. Yeah, you have the right to evolve. That might have been the space that he was in at the time. So it's like I'm not going to go around apologizing to everybody for the person that I necessarily was before. You're going to accept me as I am now, or you're going to watch me as I leave. And so I'm like, but I get it when you're a celebrity and your livelihood is based on the public. I guess you have different rules, but me personally, I would have been like, I ain't apologizing to shit. But for me, the problem that I have in general with the whole cancel Dave Chapelle thing is that you can't laugh at the jokes when they're about other people, and then when the jokes are on you, now all of a sudden I'm offended.
Speak on it.
Because Dave Chapelle uses the word nigga every other word. And I understand he's Black or whatever, but why aren't you so appalled and just like, oh my God, he's using the N-word? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't you appalled when he talks about, like I said before, like he uses the word bitch a lot when he refers to women. Why aren't you appalled and upset about that? You find that funny. When he talks about Black people, when he talks about white people, he talks about poor white people. Why aren't you all appalled and upset about that? But when the shoe is on that foot, then it's funny. But that's what comedians do. Everybody equally is going to get the business, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mark, in my opinion, of a good comedian. Everybody is going to get made fun of. But just for some reason, this particular group, it's like they're untouchable, and it makes you. And what that does is what it creates people. It creates an us and them type of situation. Now it makes it hard for people who are like myself. I have several friends that were in that community, but it makes it hard for us to support you because it's like I have to be so careful and walk on eggshells because if I don't call you the right pronoun or if we disagree, and that's the thing now that I don't like about this culture now, is at what point did disagreeing with somebody equate to you trying to cancel them? Right. Just because we don't agree and we don't see eye to eye. Yeah, just because we don't see eye to eye and we don't agree about certain things doesn't mean that we can't still be friends. We can't still interact. I have friends that are Republicans. I have friends that are Democrats. I have friends that are Trump supporters. That doesn't mean that I don't like them. I don't hang out with them. I can't kick it with them. we just have differing opinions. And so what happened to those days where we can just, I don't have to agree with you to be friends with you. And that's part of what makes this country so great, is that we don't all have to walk around believing the exact same thing. We did. I mean, this would be a horrible place to live.
Well, the problem that we see in these days, cuz, is nobody's wrong. Everybody's right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is right. Also, I wanted to, when you were talking, you actually reminded me of a point I wanted to make. You know, when we have, you know, we always want, you know, the white people that are progressive and forward on their thinking to talk to whites who aren't forward in their thinking. We put the responsibility on them to get them to correct their ways. Okay. When we see, you know, a black man doing what he's not supposed to be doing, he's not, you know, working, he's not benefiting the community, you know, he's 65 years old and he's sagging, you know, they'd be like, hey, black man, you go tell your brother, pull his pants up. You know what I'm saying? You know, we expect that kind of, we want that kind of policing in the community, but where is the policing? And I don't want this to turn into, you know, we're beating up on a group of, you know, marginalized individuals, but where was the policing in that community when they hounded Dave Chapelle's friend for 6 days straight, and to the point where they killed themselves?
Yeah. Well, all that community support went out the window when he didn't agree with them, or she didn't agree with them.
Right.
You know, that's when it goes out the window. See, that's the thing. Just now, that's not, you know, unless you live in that world, or you live in that community and you're part of that community, then you understand, like, it is like just me talking to you about Dave Chapelle's friend, whether to say he or she, you know, I'm not a part of that community. So that's not like duh for me. It's not second nature for me. But right. Me calling somebody a he when they want to go by she, you know, could be offensive and could be reason enough for you to counsel. But if I don't live in that world,
right,
you know, how in the heck am I supposed to know that that's offensive? And how am I supposed to know what you want to be called?
Just correct me gently.
Yeah. Very gently, because I got a mouth on me.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, the last thing I want to do is disrespect you, because I don't want to be disrespected.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no. So you let me know, you know what I'm saying, before we get too far into this conversation, you know, you let me know what you want me to call you, you know, and then we're not gonna have no problems, man. Honest people are going to act honestly.
Right.
You know, true honest people are not looking to offend. You know, we want respect all the way around. Real quick, I can't believe time kind of got away from us. He also mentioned, and this is something that we've talked about in our private conversations. He mentioned the feminist community and those that are organized as feminists. And I wanted to get your thoughts on what did you think about those particular comments?
By his definition, or he says Webster's definition, what he said, it was just a feminist. Yeah. A feminist is a person that wants equal rights for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Definition. And so, I mean, I guess by that definition, yeah, we're all feminists.
And
by the general definition, or the definition we have come to know feminist being, I am not. Like I said, I don't want to be treated. I say this all the time. I got it from Golden Girls. Blanche was like, I don't want to be treated as your equal. I want to be treated much better than you. I don't want to do the things that a man does. That's why he's a man. You know, but I was raised with more traditional values. And so that's me to my core, you know, but because somebody else doesn't agree with me and wants the equal thing, wants equal treatment or whatever, doesn't mean that we can't be friends. Just know that that's not how I roll. I don't, you know, but but by his definition and his feminist comments, I agree with him. I do, and he puts things in such a way where it's like, if even if you don't agree with him, if you just get your head out of your ass for a second and listen with an open mind, and I think that's the problem with a lot of his comedy or his specials, are people, they listen with their minds already made up, and they listen with an intent to be offended.
Yes. Yes.
They already have it in their mind that they're going to be offended by something he says. And so if you make up your mind to be offended, then guess what you're going to be?
Yeah.
Offended. But I'm like, but if you can just be open. And that's my thing with people, is just, if we could just be open to listen, to genuinely listen to somebody else's points and views and stuff. For one, you might be able to learn something. And for two, you might discover that you really are saying the same thing, just in different ways.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's what I myself, by the definition we've known, I'm not a feminist. But yeah, I do think that everybody deserves fair treatment and equal rights. Okay. I definitely think I believe in that.
All right. Getting paid for doing the same work when the same responsibilities are in place.
I mean, I guess if it has to do with something intellectually, then yeah, I'm for equal pay. But if it had, for example, I worked at real quick, I worked at UPS when I was in college, and I was worked at UPS loading trucks. So yeah, it was 30 days. But doing that, it kind of solidified that feeling. It's it was hard work. It was really hard work. And then, men, just the way that y'all are built, you're built to have upper body strength. And then there was just some things, no matter how badly I wanted to do it, there were just certain boxes I could not lift up. I needed a man there to do it, because I could not, they were too heavy for me,
So you should have been paid less?
I mean, I wouldn't have been mad at it. No, I wouldn't have griped about it, because I couldn't do the job to its full capacity. I had to have the help of a man in order to complete my truck, so to speak.
Well, let's take this from the loading dock to the meeting room and to the office and all the politics. What do you say about that?
I think that I say that if it has to do with intellect, if it's just intellect alone and it's based on my mind, and based on if we both are having to come up with 2 + 2 is 4, then then I think that it's equal. But my thing is, when it comes to more things having to do with the makeup or the anatomy or the biology of being a man versus being a woman, then depending on what it is, yeah, it might be fair for a man to do most of the work, or get paid, more money for the work.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm kind of hard pressed to disagree with that. Yeah. I mean, we are Christians. When after God created man, and the animals and the garden was all in place, he told the man to work.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, several years from that, we know things have changed vastly.
Yeah.
We know that women are having to work, and they have to do several jobs that were once considered man work, whether we're talking white collar or blue collar.
Yeah, it's evolution. It happened in the Bible. I mean, it's just evolution. It's happened in the Bible. And I think that's the thing. People don't want to evolve with the times. It's that's what if you read your Bible, the Old Testament version, that's evolution. When we go, we can just simply ask for forgiveness. We don't have to go out and get a lamb or and blood and trick. You know what I'm saying? It's evolution. We can
all the door frame and whatnot.
Exactly. We don't have to do that. So the way that they evolved, we evolved.
Got you. But I just want everyone, to be respected and wherever you find yourself.
Yeah.
And everybody just needs to get what you deserve under the law. Okay. Yeah. And if we do that, then I think we will do fine. I don't know about you, but my timer went off.
Oh yeah, I was relying on your timer, but yeah, this was. I mean, this is a whole. This will definitely have to be a part two, and maybe when we do our part two, we can bring a guest in so we can get a third opinion. That would be pretty interesting too. Just on these controversial issues, and I think one of the ways for us to get to know our family members even better is to have these types of discussions, because you really get like a sneak peek into their mind and how they work and how they think. But I'm gonna go ahead and close this out, because Brother Sean and I will get on a whole nother tangent and then we're here for another hour. So but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're on YouTube and listening, if you are listening to us on the podcast, whatever your favorite podcast site is, we're season 2. We're back. We're ready we coming out swinging, and we look forward to bringing you this heat this season. We got more episodes, and yeah, we're ready to do the damn thing. So make sure you're following us on all social media platforms. They will be detailed either in the video or in the description below. So but thanks so much for watching, and we're gonna hit that
like button.
Absolutely, and we will see you guys next week.
We love you. Peace out.